Hello to everyone and welcome to this Nordic Plus webinar. We have a very exciting agenda, very interesting speakers. I'm very pleased to introduce them as they come along. They only have 10 minutes of presentations because we wanted as many as possible, as always. If you've ever been to our Nordic pavilions or any of our meetings, we try to cram into quite a lot of exciting stuff in a short period of time. That is also due to the fact that we have so much to share. And Nordic Plus is an organization platform. We actually will be an organization as of this autumn, meaning that all the ITS organizations in the Nordic region are part of Nordic Plus. This means that all the companies and organizations being part of any ITS organization in the Nordic and the Baltic region automatically a part of Nordic Plus. Together, we are much more stronger in order to create transport and mobility that is cross-border, that is environmentally friendly and more safe and secure. We can also provide scalability and also industry possibilities by joining forces. And together as an innovation hub for the Nordic Plus region is one of the key missions why we do this. I will share them afterwards, but we wanted to let you know that we have an extensive program. I actually wrote a detailed program year calendar for you for 25-26, and we have many webinars planned. And next one is actually also about EU program on the 29th of September. How we work is that if you have a topic that you find important that we should share across the borders, either your company, a research organization, or a public entity, reach out to us, and we're not unfamiliar to put up a webinar about any topic related to transport and mobility. We will be present at Intertraffic in Amsterdam in March next year, meaning we will have a Nordic pavilion. A Nordic pavilion putting together all the three stakeholders, public, private, and academia, in order to join forces and find common ground for pilots, projects, and activities. We will also be a delegation visit to ITS Europe. We will have a Nordic Plus roadshow in September. More information about that, because we want to showcase the Nordic region from a secure, safe, and a sustainable point of view. And with today's geopolitical climate, this makes more sense as well to showcase the industry and the public sector to the world. We will also be present at the ITS World Congress in Korea. We will probably not have a pavilion there, but we will do a delegation visit to Korea and Japan. That is a little bit to you to show that the depth of the Nordic Plus family. Moving now on to the program. My name is Jenny, by the way, Jenny Simonsen from ITS Norway. I always forgot to introduce myself because there's so many more exciting people to introduce. We ask you to use the chat for questions. As I said, we have a very tight program, so please use the chat. And I urge all our people that are speakers today, all our speakers, to answer questions on the chat. And we will have a short Q&A at the end. So if you feel you didn't get your answers, or you think of questions you would like to raise, we will have some time at the end. We will record this and share it on our platform, and also the presentations as PDFs. So without much ado, we're just going to jump into the program, and I would like to introduce you to Anssi Krooks. I should know all the words because I'm also Finnish, so I should know how to pronounce you, from Solita, and I'm just gonna jump and give you the word, Antti. The stage is yours, please.
All right, thank you, Jenny, and good afternoon, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Anssi Krooks, and I work as the Director of Mobility and Logistics domain at Solita. And I have the privilege to be the first speaker today and to give you an outlook or overview of what's happening in rail ITS at the moment. But first, we will start with Solita. I guess that's maybe not a familiar company for everyone, so just a few words. So we are a digital transformation company, originally born in Tampere, Finland, nearly 30 years ago, but currently operating in 10 countries across the Europe with more than 2,000 employees. And in mobility and transportation, we have built systems for operational users in all transport modes. Here you can see some nice pictures and examples ranging from train drivers to ice breaking, as also winter is now coming soon. But now let's go to the actual content of this presentation, so some outlook of what's happening in the rail industry at the moment. I have identified 8 key issues, and then I will explain 2 case examples how digitalization can be helpful solver of some of these issues. And this is a bit of wall of text, sorry for that, but let's go through them together. So first and foremost, of course, now there is huge investments in digitalization of the railway systems in throughout Europe. We hear lots of acronyms like ERTMS and FRMCS, but this is now a common European movement that many of the legacy safety and traffic control systems are now upgraded to the common European standards. And this is, of course, a huge challenge for the whole industry in the coming 20 to 40 years to come. Bringing new control systems also brings need for better communication infrastructure. So, of course, we will need in the future more up-to-date communications between the rail vehicles and the wayside systems, but also other use cases such as collecting data from the infrastructure, also from the vehicles, and also to provide better services for the passengers will require much better communication networks that we currently have. And I guess many of you have tried to, for example, have a Teams call from moving train, and it's not always possible, even in Finland. Unfortunately, also increasing digital systems in the railway system creates some cybersecurity risks. But however, also these can be mitigated by making right decisions in the design and implementation phase. Although ERTMS is coming, it's only a fraction of the whole technological stack that is needed to operate in railways. So we have lots of issues in the interoperability and standardization, and especially data and information sharing across the borders in Europe. When doing big digital transformation, this also creates challenges for organizations and also leadership and management, and also new kind of job profiles will be needed in the railways in the future. One key issue is also funding. We are living now in a really strong cost pressure in public sector, and also road traffic electrification is now bringing low cost, low carbon competition for railways. So railways traditional strength have been the ability to do electrified transport of people and goods. So now we have electric cars and electric buses and soon electric lorries to competing with that. On the same time, there is still strong demand for extra capacity in the rails, and building new railway lines and tracks takes a long time. So maybe with the new systems and digitalization, the existing railway capacity could be utilized better, and that would bring more capacity faster than building completely new railway lines. And last but not least is the issues with integration and data management. So we are now seeing more and more AI, IoT sensors, and also predictive analytics to be implemented in the railway systems, and to do this properly with the legacy systems creates unique challenges, and this is also one topic where I think a big emphasis should be put in the coming years with all the railway actors. All right, but yeah, enough for the challenges. There are many of these, but I have selected now 2 use cases how we as a company have helped to come to solve some of these issues, and hope you can also take some inspiration from these. And we will start with cross-border interoperability. So if you can raise this virtual hand, how many of you have heard a term called TAP TSI before? There's at least 1 hand. Excellent. 2, 3. All right, 4. Yeah. So this is an interesting standard and concept for sharing real-time data about train delays or train running times, train compositions between the railway infrastructure managers. It allows IT systems to work together in digital form, so it doesn't require any more manual inputting data to systems. Digital tools can be built to track shipments across the rails, and it also allows planning of the train timetables and path allocations cross borders in Europe, and also is a key enabler for being compliant with EU regulation and single European railway area. And it's also a good thing to remember that there are also borders inside countries. So national railway networks and many private rail networks currently have really big information barriers. So it might be that harbors, industrial sites, etc., they don't have any digital tools to support railway traffic, and this TAP TSI is now also coming, at least in the Central Europe. Many big ports are now building IT systems to be interoperable with the national railway networks and to receive and transmit information about train movement. So this is now a big thing happening in throughout Europe, and hopefully in the future this will allow better cross-border rail services. Another interesting thing is digital twins. This was a hype thing maybe 10 years ago, but we now see that this is now coming back. And now digital twins are more clearly defined, and there are more concrete use cases. It usually is something around predictive analytics. So in practice, that means that, for example, railway infrastructure manager has good enough digital model about all the assets and all the infrastructure they are owning, and then when the time goes, information about faults, maintenance events is gathered, and also maybe in the future some sensor data and also data from measurement trains and even operational trains is added, and then algorithms can be used to calculate and predict faults, and also that can be used to better optimize maintenance scheduling. So it's done per need and not per calendar, and this should allow more efficient operations, more efficient maintenance, and also maybe better asset longevity. So this should support on this cost pressure, because typically the railway maintenance is quite big yearly cost for the infrastructure managers. But yeah, as a closing remark, when I started to work with railways 10 years ago, I was told that 1 quarter in railways always lasts 25 years. But does it have to really be so? I guess utilizing digital tools, we could maybe make it as 10 years or even 15 years in the future. So there are possibilities to change faster when using digitality. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Anssi. That's a very good question at the end there, and I hope others will actually like to answer some of that in the Q&A. There's already one question for you waiting, so please welcome to answer that one. As the time is strict, I will jump straight to the next one, and it's from Norway. We're going to hear about Europe's rail and possibilities, and it's Paul Midtlien Danielsen from he's the leader innovation at the Norwegian Rail Directorate. So Paul, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jenny. I hope that you are able to see my screen, and I'm also trying to get it into presentation mode, and hopefully that works just right now.
And we can see your notes. So next screen, basically, so if you could change the screen into a full screen, then that would be perfect.
Or duplicate, yes.
Yes, there. Excellent, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll give a brief introduction to initially the Norwegian Rail Network and organization, and then go into Europe's Rail, as Jenny mentioned. Just for the sake of overview, I think it's a nice map to watch at, but maybe one of the core elements to look at in this context is that we have cross-border traffic in 4 lines in the Norwegian context, and you see far up north, you'll have the Ofotbanen going into Malbanen and the end port of Narvik, which is a critical line for the Swedes, and also a transportation hub for a lot of freight into the northern part of Norway from the Norwegian context, and of course has, let's say, revived interest from a geopolitical point of view, and we know that also the Finnish rail community is getting, I would say, increasingly connected to Narvik. I guess it's a fair statement to say. And beyond that, we have some of the major cities as being rail hubs, and that mainly being Oslo, as you can tell from the maps. And the rail sector in Norway is then organized in a matter of how to put it, a family of different responsibility and players. And our owner is the Ministry of Transport. We advise the ministry and we coordinate the sector from the Railway Directorate, Bane NOR, the infrastructure management, dealing with development and maintenance, and also capacity management. And then, of course, the train operators running the trains. Norske Tog being the vehicle owner, leasing vehicles to the operators. So that's a brief overview of the sector. And then to the Europe's Rail. Oh, sorry for that. Europe's Rail. I can see program manager, Preben Sæther, that's not me, but anyway. Europe's Rail is a public-private partnership organized under Horizon Europe, the innovation program under the European Commission. And it's the ever largest innovation program in Europe. It has a duration of approximately 10 years. And the initial statements and mission statements for this program is that it's dealing with high technology readiness level. It's rather mature technologies, and it has a focus on providing solutions for the European rail that is ready to being implemented as the European rail development progress is progressing. The development progress matures over time. So that's the brief overview of Europe's Rail. It's a couple of years into its lifespan, and we see that the first of 3 project periods is coming to an end, and we are sort of going into the second project phase and planning for the second project phase in Europe's Rail as we speak. So Europe's Rail has 6 major focus areas. I'm not going to read them as it's stated here on the slides, but it covers a broad range of common themes and issues that one in the European rail community agreed that these are the core areas. So you see, for instance, in the traffic management and capacity, including digital enablers, green and sustainable solutions, asset management in both vehicles and infrastructure. Those are the sort of the core 6 areas where you'll find these big, large projects. There's 1 project under each of these 6 categories. So that means that there's, I would qualify them as mega projects, but of course then a lot of subcategories and sub-projects. That's how it's organized. The initial structure here is, as I mentioned, a public-private partnership. You see the Commission funding 50% of this structure, and then the 6 projects providing funding and support for the last 50% of the whole financial commitment in the Europe's Rail program. These are the founding fathers. That means just that these partners and different European rail community organizations have secured and made the Commission trust that together one will qualify projects for 10 years, and the joint effort will sort of be respected in terms of those terms and conditions the Commission states in order to release the large sum of money going into the Europe's Rail. So that being the commitment from this structure, there is there's 6 projects currently running. This is ordinary EU projects in the way that you will apply through the Horizon Europe portal, and that we will be evaluated by rail experts and then provide and hopefully then both win the competition and also exceed the minimal scores that you need for different evaluation criteria. So these 6 projects, as I mentioned, has been now running for a couple of years, and each one of them, you see FP1 Motional, FP2, R2 Data, and so on, are then the 6 projects running under each of these 6 core areas. And from the Norwegian context, the Directorate is coordinating our initiatives under these 6 projects, and it involves both, of course, Bane NOR, Norske Tog is included, Vy is working within automation issues, and then various research and development players in the Norwegian context, mainly SINTEF, a research institute, and NTNU, the technical university, and so on. So this is the different players that we include in the development progress, and of course this is a dialogue based on needs and wishes from the Norwegian railway sector. So we take part in all of these 6 projects, and all in all there's approximately 80 to 90 people involved somehow in these 6 projects from the Norwegian Directorate, and of course mainly from the different Norwegian partners. This is then the sort of the long-term team behind. We are the coordinator, but of course this will be a long-term collaboration with the Norwegian sector. So I mentioned Vy, the operator, Flytog is then being incorporated into Vy, but we see that the operators are getting more and more involved. Bane NOR is involved and hopefully will continue to be involved in various projects. I'll get back to that. And we see that the national initiative and the sort of having this as an opportunity for the sector is what the Directorate really aims at here. So that this is a possibility for European collaboration and innovation in a collaborative fashion across Norwegian players and international and European players. So that's the rationale of the national team and how we work with it. So I'll dive into 2 projects just as examples to sort of illustrate how this is rigged and organized. So this is the first project, so to speak, in the context of European rail network and mobility management. There's a project called Motional, and it deals with issues related to future European traffic management system, and of course the ambitions of increasingly having interoperable and resilient and so on solutions. We are, as I mentioned here, in a collaborative effort towards Trafikverket in particular. And from the research side, we work with SINTEF and Institute for Energy Technology. And our main focus within this particular project is actually on digital enablers, including digital twins and, as shown in this slide, I would say data models and federated data space. So we, as a directorate, we initially put our effort into the federated data space domain as a response to the European Data Act, among other things. And we see that there is a movement towards this, I would say, it's not philosophy, but this structure and proposed structure of federated data spaces. And we think that the European, the Europe's Rail context is a very good platform to investigate if this is relevant, efficient, and can really bring added value to the Norwegian railway family. So we'll continue doing that also in the second wave of projects starting late next year. In a collaborative fashion again with research institutes and sector players. So that's an example of how we're sort of positioning Norwegian initiatives and the Norwegian, I would say, needs and the possibilities within the European rail sector. And here we register that there's across Europe, a large interest in the federated data space domain, but I think it's also fair to say that it's driven by commercial interest, which I think is good, and the large railway players are really eager to test more and get pilots and let's say cross border and cross player pilots established late next year. So that's one example of project that we engage in. Another example is in the third pillar within asset management. This project is huge, of course, as it said, a lot of partners, 48-month duration, and in this context we are collaborating closely with Bane NOR, and they are doing the development together with 3 research institutes, 2 institutes in the university. In the Norwegian context, we are focused on, I think it's fair to say, bridges, both steel and concrete bridges. One is doing instrumentation, data, generated insights when it comes to both life cycle and also condition monitoring. So in the condition monitoring setting, we are on the Narvik line, the iron ore line, dealing with heavy hauls and looking into the conditions of the concrete bridge on the Ofotbanen. And the other case is looking into lifetime evaluations and modeling on a 100-year-old steel bridge. So that's our main focus in this particular project in collaboration with Bane NOR, of course. So that's Europe's Rail at a glance, and I'm happy to answer questions and see if there's anything in the chat. here. Yeah. So I'll look into that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think that is Jenny on the line. If not, I can continue. You can answer the questions on the chat, and maybe we can hop to the next presentation. And if I can ask Sirkiä, Director of Väylävirasto, Finnish Transport Infrastructure Agency, presentation of overview of what's happening in Finland at rail. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I hope my screen is now shared with you. At least it looks like it. Excellent. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sirkiä. I'm the Director of DigiRail and Procurement of Traffic Control at Finnish Transport Infrastructure Agency. We act as infrastructure manager here in Finland. I'm here to tell you about the DigiRail program, the materialization of Finnish ERTMS program. So what is DigiRail? DigiRail is a must-make investment to replace the end of its life cycle Class B ATP system in Finland, including all the signaling systems of Finnish railways. So we are talking about massive replacement investment. Total cost on track side, including the traffic management system, is around 1.3 billion euros. And I mean really massive. It includes all state-owned rail infrastructure, whole ATP system, all interlockings, signals, object controllers, and so on. The DigiRail pushes for more efficient and smoother railway traffic, and it covers the Finnish ERTMS implementation mandatory in EU regulation. DigiRail is an investment to future railways, more traffic and passengers, better services, less disturbances, lower emissions. We hope to gain more capacity on rails with our current network. Capacity gain depends on traffic structure and the rolling stock. With homogeneous structure and train integrity management, capacity gain might be even 20%. DigiRail is an investment to future railways. No, sorry. DigiRail is a sector-wide possibility to rethink the railways and to lay foundation for the future further development. We are not concentrating only on renewal of systems. We are discussing sector-wide about operational models, etc. And we try to rethink the whole railway system, how it works in Finland. With this picture, I'm trying to tell you about the long journey of this project. We started 2019 with survey phase. The report is still available in internet and it's still current. We are following it quite nicely even today. 2020, we started preparation phase. We procured ERTMS laboratory and test track at Kouvola-Kotka-Hamina rail. 21, we started development and verification phase. 23, we had the test track ready. We started test drives with a 17th locomotive made in Soviet Union. To be honest, it was easier to equip the 70s loco with OBU than the newer ones. For example, there's no local manufacturer anymore telling what you can and what you can't do. Last year, we procured the first commercial track, so-called ECA track in Tampere, Rauma, and Pori. Now we have the construction works ongoing, and we started the deployment phase of the DigiRail at start of this year. Next year, the first procurements of the deployment phase will be started late spring. We hope to start 2 big procurements of the CSS system and OC system. The infrastructure on the ECA line, on the first commercial line, will be ready at 2028, and the traffic begins with first commercial line at the end of year 2029. And after that, we are deploying according to the master plan, which I have on the next slide. So this is the ERTMS rollout plan of Finland. As you can see, there's the state-owned network on the map. We have approximately 6,000 kilometers of tracks in Finland. The rollout plan describes the phases in which the ERTMS is planned to take into use. The plan is based on rolling stock first principle. So we are planning the way the railway undertakers can do their own procurements for the rolling stock. Railway traffic in Finland is network-wide, not corridor-based, so whole rolling stock long-haul fleet is used all around the network. I want to point out the black area on the map. The special thing in that one is the capital area of Finland. If there's around 83 million passengers on trains annually, 68 million of them are on local traffic on that black area. So the deployment of the black area is extremely important to get right at once. And after the area 5, the dark yellow one, all the rolling stock must be equipped with ERTMS capabilities. On that phase, basically all the trains and locos travel on the network that is at least partially on ERTMS. Then something about our objectives. First objective is the technology. We try to get several system providers with EU links interfaces everywhere between the systems. Standardized interfaces gets us out from the vendor lock situation we are nowadays with the old interlockings. We are aiming centralized double safety system, object controllers at track side, and fiber optic data network with doubled connections between the centralized system and object controllers. We are pushing for hybrid train detection. We are going for the moving block. We will still have the rail vacancy detection with axle counters, but when train integrity knowledge is available, we'll use the moving block as rail vacancy. This is the key for the capacity gain I talked earlier. For the radio network, we are going for the mobile network operators. The use of MNOs is Finnish specialty that we have been pushing in EU regulation for years now. We will use them. We do not want to build yet another rail radio network, FRMCS of our own, while we have free excellent coverage mobile operators available everywhere on our network. By this, we will get savings around 50 million euros in investments only, and then the maintenance on top of that. And to be honest, mobile network operators are very good in their core business, keeping the mobile network cyber safe up and running 24/7. We are pushing also for ATO, so automatic train operations. We are pushing for grade of automation 2, so no driverless trains, but automation of starting and stopping the mission, so on. On ATO, we are aiming mainly on local traffic, where the traffic density is high and lots of trains are running. With automation, we can be more accurate on stopping and starting the train. There's also energy efficiency point on ATO. We can affect on trains not to accelerate on same second. By this way, we don't need that much total output power from the grid. This may be a big thing regarding the electric capacity in rail electricity. The second objective is the possibility for a real giant technology leap. We are jumping over a total generation of ETCS level 1. We are going for the level 2, in-cab signaling and forget the signals track side. We are going for the newest technology, the latest buzzwords on the area. The project itself it's quite interesting. It's kind of both greenfield and brownfield project because we don't have existing GSM-R network. We are going straight to the FRMCS technology with the MNOs, but it's kind of a brownfield project because we are making the project on utilized tracks. So it's both. The third point is the TSI compliance. We are aiming for TSI compliant system for single European railway area with all the EU regulations taken consider. And then my last slide, I can't underline this enough because the working together in this project is the Finnish superpower. We are all in the project. All the stakeholders are in the project. The Traffic Management Corporation, Fintraffic, us, FTIA, Traficom as our Finnish safety advisor, Ministry of Transport and Communications, railway undertakers, we are in main role, and local transport provider at Helsinki area, the AHSL. This is more than cooperation. This is working together for common goal for better future railway system. This is totally unique in Europe, even in the world scale. We have open discussion with all the stakeholders under this one big DigiRail umbrella. Okay, that was about it. I sincerely hope that I could bring the points you were hoping to get from this presentation.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Esa, very much. That was very good. We've heard now from Solita from Finland. We heard from Europe's Rail in Norway from Paul, and now Esa from the Finnish Rail. Very interesting. And we're going to jump into the Rail Baltica and hear from Harri Aro. And I can see that the activity is very good in the chat, so please continue using that. So Harri, the floor is yours. You're welcome.
Hello, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, and loud and clear.
Great.
Hear you.
So yeah, my name is Harri. I'm from Rail Baltic Estonia, and I'm here to give a quick overview on what's happening with Rail Baltica. For those who don't know, currently, I want to say it's one of the flagship projects for Europe when it comes to European rail. And the goal for this project is to restore the missing link between the Baltics and the rest of Europe. On the commercial side, we want to connect with the European TEN-T network, and also security is a really big topic currently as we speak with the war ongoing in Ukraine. And one of the biggest benefits I want to say is going to be the time saving. So currently the railway that we have in the Baltics is the 1520 gauge. That's the sort of like a Russian gauge, and it's pretty slow compared to what we're currently building. So the design speed is going to be 249 kilometers in an hour. So in perspective from Tallinn to Riia, it's going to be about 2-hour drive with the train, which is 2 times faster than it used to be before. Regarding the governance, so as you probably know, Rail Baltica is this sort of like a joint effort between the 3 Baltic countries, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. And how it's coordinated is that there's this sort of a central coordinating body called RB Rail, which handles all this sort of design questions. And this design is kind of like unified between the 3 different countries, so that when we are building the railway, then everybody will be kind of like on the same page. But it's coordinated by them. Myself, I'm representing the Rail Baltic Estonia part currently. Now, a couple of main facts. It's going to be European GOG 1435. As you have probably heard, is that due to the this sort of budget constraints or budget cutbacks, is initially it was planned to have a double track line. Then currently it has been pulled back a little bit to have a sort of like a first stage or phase one, as we call it, is gonna be single track with embankment being ready for 2 tracks. So in the future, if the demand raises, then there's always a possibility to extend the double track quite quickly. The line is going to be fully electrified. The total length is going to be 870 kilometers. The cost of the infrastructure is going to be about 15.3 billion euros for the whole track, and the majority is financed by the Connecting Europe facility and the Baltic states. Now, to talk a little bit about the current construction phases, let's say it like that. So on the Estonian front, we pretty much have the whole track under construction. The deadline for us is 2030, 8th of December. So we are nicely moving on track with that front. And the plan is to have this sort of testing and commissioning already starting at 2029, actually. On Latvian front, so currently they are more focusing on the southern this sort of connection with Riga and or Salaspils to Lithuanian border, and currently have the designs or design phase ongoing for the northern part, and this should be finalized by the end of this year. After design is finalized, then they should be able to kind of like move forward with the construction phase as well. And from the Lithuanian side, their current efforts have been on more from Kaunas up north to Latvian border. Because as you probably know, is that they already had an existing connection between Kaunas and Poland, which was European GOG. Now, to talk a little bit about some of the landmarks that Estonia is going to have here in the future, the first one to be completed is going to be Ülemiste Joint Terminal. This is already partly operational, and the 1520 railway trains by Elron are already passing by over there, but the construction is pretty much still ongoing. Now, on the commercial side, probably one of the biggest impactors is going to be the Muuga Freight Terminal, which is going to be the only intermodal terminal on Rail Baltica line that is also going to have the connection with the seaport. This is planned to, currently the design is ongoing, and the construction should finish by 2030. And to give you some perspective on the scale of how much traffic moves between Finland and Estonia or Muuga currently, it's about 36,000 semi-trailers per month. So we see there's a big potential on this sort of intermodal, so that the trailers kind of come and we can put them on the train and then ship them to Europe. So the goal is to kind of like connect them with this sort of RFC 8 and RFC 11 that we are a part of, to offer this sort of a green CO2-free corridor, let's say it like that. Now, regarding from our side and what we are currently focusing on is that, Rail Baltica is infrastructure manager. So currently between different countries, what we have had issues is that there's no common charging schema, no common capacity allocation framework. So even though we have a connection between three different Baltic countries, we've had this sort of we haven't been on the same level playing field, let's say it like that. So now this is something that we aim to let's say repair with our Rail Baltica project, to have this sort of a joint network statement, joint synchronized traffic control, joint safety management, and also seamless railway traffic link between the Muuga and Poland and further on, so to say. Now we get a lot of questions that, okay, what are going to be the passenger numbers? To give a quick idea over here, 2030, 2045, this is kind of when we should have this sort of full capacity. We aim to have about 9 million international passengers per year and 5.6 million regional passengers. Yes, and regarding the freight side, about 10 million tons of cargo every year. This is initially planned on 2030, out of which 3 million is going to be traveling through Estonia. And travel time wise, to Warsaw, it's going to be about 15 hours with the train. So usually with truck, it takes about 2 days. Timeline wise, so we're pretty much full on going with the construction phase. 2026 is pretty much the time when all the main line is on the construction phase, and we are moving pretty nicely on that front. ENA contract just recently got signed, I believe yesterday, and CCS or the signaling contract is still being negotiated with. I believe there's 4 different parties who are part of that procurement. And this should be finalized, I want to say, early next year. So by 2029, we should be able to start with all the commissioning and testing and whatnot. And from operations timeline, currently we are, what I'm doing from my front is approaching the railway undertakings to get their kind of like an understanding on how they feel like having cargo being moved on Rail Baltica. So far, it has been positive. And from passenger side, currently their procurement is ongoing for the Elron regional trains. And the same goes for VV and LTG Link as well. It's kind of like a joint procurement. And the last thing that I wanted to touch is that next week there's going to be a workshop. So then possibly something that we want to kind of get, I'm not going to say better understanding, but potentially have this sort of a commercially viable business solution to, since we are building this sort of cableway throughout the Baltics, then the idea is that how could we potentially commercialize the two out of 6 like ducts or cableways, let's say like that. So this is something that's gonna be more information next week. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Harri. That was very good. Again, we will share the PDFs after the presentation, so you're aware of that. And please don't hesitate to ask Harri some questions in the chat. I know he needs to leave at some point, but he will be able to answer some quick questions now. Next one is Kjell Holter. He's head of RTMS Technical at Bane, and he will talk about digital rail possibilities of the future. Please, Kjell, you can share your presentation if you have that available, and you will also get your 10 minutes of fame again. So welcome, and the floor is yours.
Does it show okay now as a presentation?
It does. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, my name is Kjell Holter. I'm working for Bane Nor. I'm working with the ERTMS for approximately 20 years now. So just to let you all know that the technology change takes a little time. But I will bring you into a little what we are doing in Norway. For the first, I want to say how we plan our digital railway. And this is probably very much the same way as anyone else looking for a total or complete change of approach. We have our fiber optic network at the bottom. We have, for the ERTMS program, put out something like 5,000 kilometers of new fiber optics to support our systems. GSMR was built in Norway back in 2005, covering the whole Norwegian railway network. Signaling will go to ERTMS level 2. We have already 2 lines in operation. The first ERTMS level 2 line without any optical signals was put in operation in 2015. So we have actually 10 years of experience already. And this 10 years of experience was put into the basics of what we are doing now for the whole country rollout. And the first line with the national rollout was put into operation late 2024. I come a little back to that. On top of that, we have a common systems supervision center in the middle of Norway, approximately, to support the systems. And what we are being aware of is that with the ERTMS, the transmission system, the radio network, the signaling system, all is coming together. So we need to understand how it's working together and what can affect it, and also to act as early as possible to avoid things stopping up. Traffic management, we are applying now a new traffic management system which will cover all ETCS2 lines and hopefully the complete Norwegian network when we are finished. That's the plan. And of course, on top of that, you will have some application for systems, either whether it's for customers or for our operators or anything else. The ERTMS program scope was actually started back in 2005 with a strategy which we are now still following, and we can say that we are hitting it quite right. We have 3 projects and 3 contracts. We are retrofitting approximately 400 trains with ETCS, ERTMS. We are replacing all signaling systems throughout the network with level 2, and we are building a new traffic management system. And then you can ask, what are the challenges with these 3 approaches? The traffic management system is actually a rather advanced computer system, while the ETCS part trackside is more a logistic nightmare or challenge. And retrofitting 400 trains is also a logistical issue due to limited number of trains. They have to go out of service, be retrofitted and back in service again as soon as possible. So things to take into mind when you are going for ETCS. The Norwegian railway network will be standardized on 3 operational interfaces. We will standardize the trains with the DMI, which is a standard throughout Europe. We will standardize with 1 HMI type for the operation of the network. And we have also introduced a handheld device for pickups or person in charge of possessions. So to standardize these 3 interfaces, from our perspective, is important for railway safety and efficient operation. On this slide, you can see to the left the numerous systems we have in operation today. We have 4 traffic management systems, different types, different suppliers. We have numerous interlockings, which are of different age and types. We want to move to the right-hand side, and that's our aim for the whole infrastructure, to standardize technology, both for signaling and traffic management. And as you see to the right, also the same data as far as possible needed for both traffic management and the signaling system. A little further on, you can see here, this is the basic structure of the new Norwegian signaling system. We are actually providing now a private cloud, more or less, or a railway cloud for the signaling systems in our computer centers, which will cover the whole Norwegian network, using the Bane Nor's fiber optic network and our GSMR system. Whether or not in the future we will have FRMCS as a separate system, or this will be commercial operators. Let's see what the standards are telling us in the future. But the GSMR is going towards its end of life and has to be replaced at some point in time. I think the importance about this picture is actually to tell you that what we are trying to do is to build a foundation for the signaling system for the next 20, 30, 40 years. And we think that if we didn't take this step now, we will not be able to look into the future and take the future into operation as we want to, and according to what we see from, for example, Europe's rail development programs, and which are of high interest of Bane Nor. This structure will enable us to put ATO into operation, and we want to provide that hopefully as a service to the train companies, either as use as ATO or connected driver advisory. The track side is providing the same data to both systems. This means that the operators can use it as they want, or we can use it where needed, for example, for capacity. We see that with this new foundation, also DAC, the digital automatic coupler, can provide us with smart freight trains. It can provide us with derailment detection from smart freight wagons. It can provide train integrity, which is shown a little below to the left in the picture. As I said, FRMCS, 5G, 6G, or whatever comes along will provide even new possibilities, which we probably haven't seen yet. One thing is self-driving trains, another thing is autonomous trains, which probably is heading us a little further down the road. We see the possibility for satellite positioning. Let's see how that can be used. The aim with many of these technologies is to simplify the infrastructure, get rid of axle counters, get rid of balises, everything which is a problem or nuisance in the track and needs maintenance. So this is parts of the way we're going, and as I said, I don't think we will reach an efficient use of this technology unless we build the right foundation for the future.
Very good.
We, as I said, today we have several traffic management systems. In the future, we will build one, and I don't think I shall show this video, but you can show it or view it yourself. It shows a little why we want a new traffic management system. I can say the basics are actually to have a better performance of the railway, because the traffic management system will have the same specific data as the signaling system. This means that we know where everything is. We can better calculate train running times. We get ETCS, which will provide information to the traffic management system in regular basis or in real time. And of course, automatic deviation handling, and also automatic information to everyone around us when delays are occurring and so on. So hopefully a new traffic management system will bring us to a new level of automation in the future. Today, this new system is only covering the first ERTMS line, but it's planned to be rolled out across the network. I think that was more or less my time. I can just say that we think that a better travel experience in modern future-proof technology is reachable, and that's what we're aiming at Bane Nord. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kjell. Very interesting. And I think you're right. We are heading into a modern future-proof technology. And if you could share the link of that video in the chat, that would be great. We will also, as said, share the PDFs. We will just jump straight into next presentation by Markus Melander. He is the entrepreneur from Relasoft, and he's going to talk about open standards and are they opening doors for the competition in railways. Please, Markus, share your presentation, and the floor is yours. And you're sharing now there you go, please. There, now we can see it. We don't have sound, Markus. I thought I was the only.
It's
yes,
better now.
Now it's much more better. It's better
Excellent.
with the presentation. You're welcome.
So,
there you go.
good afternoon, everybody. I took a privilege to talk about very narrowly from a business perspective and from a smaller railway company perspective, because I think this is quite topical. Railway sector needs a bit shaking because it's traditional and there is not much culture to promote change, let's say, in some sense. And my main topic is about open standards or specifications and how they are opening a possibility for smaller companies like Relasoft, which is now soon 4 years old railway software company and has been able to penetrate to the market, which is a good story. But this is really a rare occasion. And this is something that many in this call can impact into. Basically, the thing is being driven on the EU level. Every infrastructure manager is talking about that how we would like to open the market, increase the competition. And then the question is what you are really doing in order to make that happen. We can see beautiful strategy papers like UK is maybe the best example. They are having a program called Target 190, where they are aiming to lower the signaling cost almost to half, or even actually maybe a little bit more. The name for the program 190 is coming from the objective that the signaling equivalent unit cost should be brought from roughly 400,000 K to 190K. But what they are doing in practice for that, there is not much issues that they are doing really. And that is basically an issue that if we want to accelerate the change, if we really would like to bring speed and bring something new to the railway sector, the smaller companies, the new blood into the game field might be the thing which is needed. And I'm not saying that there is much problems in the railway sector other than being super slow, everything takes time, and there is always an answer because of the safety, because of the specification and so forth. But I can really tell you that it's part of the culture and it's part of the things that how we have used to do it for many years. And we are not really driving the change by bringing the new players to the game field. So, couple of words about Relasoft, because this is relevant, because there is not many this kind of companies in Nordics or even in Europe level that what they are doing. So we are a software company, partly also a system company. So we enter to the market with an operational conversion model, enabling to change old-fashioned or old relay interlocking into a U-Lynx compatibility. Then we are subcontracting real signaling systems for European tier 1 level suppliers. And then we have been awarded to be the first and official U-Lynx testing platform or testing system provider for all the industry who are doing open standard-based signaling systems for the market. And this contract is awarded by the U-Lynx Consortium Office. So it's really a unique position to be, and we are really happy for it. About our company, a couple of words that how we were able to come to the market, and I'm using this slide to tell the story. So the Finland FTIA made a procurement for the signaling systems without a requirement for an existing reference for main lines. So super important. If you want to make a change, don't hold back by references or any, let's say, revenue limits if you want to open the market and bring the competition. We won the contract together with one of the constructors from Finland called GRK, and we came to the market with this third part, the U-Lynx Gateway. We did excellent work there. We were really fast, and we have an excellent solution, future-proof, and it's actually also really low cost. So it's a good, and this is how we came to the market. And then we started a bit by bit to take a little bit more steps and learning and being super fast all the time because of entrepreneurial attitude. So now then we have this testing system, and now we have simulation systems, and now we are actually providing this digital twin, which is a real digital twin, meaning that it has all the sub-elements as a virtual objects, and they are maintaining the real digital infrastructure, real communication, and you can run simulations and use that same platform also for testing. That's really unique offering for the whole railway sector. And all this happened just because there was a procurement without any limitations for new entry. Of course, this risk taking by FTIA could have also gone really badly south, but luckily it didn't, and new things are then born. People are seems to be really well aware and knows about what is ETCS, what is U-Lynx, and so forth. But basically these three components are the signaling system core components on high level, if there is somebody who is not so much aware about the situation. I'm not going to talk so much traffic management system because the interfaces towards the two, the ETCS, the tracks, the onboard systems and the trackside systems are basically specified in the ETCS specification and in the U-Lynx specification. And because everything is so well on paper, documented, specifications do exist, basically everybody who just have time, effort and interest can make systems on board and system on trackside. And we know that by heart because we are in the middle of that. And it's only a matter of interest, will, of course, funding, and then right kind of skill set. The specifications are really detailed, even from the legislation or directive level from EU. And as this you can see here, basically it's so precise that even sets that, okay, this is how the driver's machine interface has to look like. And for those who are like, doesn't come from the software side, this makes actually to make the software easy, because very seldom there are so good specifications as they are on the railways at the moment. Couple of words about the signaling strategy. Because my main core here is on the signaling systems, which these are the expensive part on the railway when it comes to the digital space. And the signaling strategy creates the baseline. I don't know now here, I was a little bit like asking from Rail Baltica or FTIA I know about, I don't know about Bane, but I think that you all big projects or nation EMs, you have the signaling strategy, but that sets the baseline how we are proceeding. What I would like to encourage in my speech, go and check. Do you have there an approach that you would like to see some new players on this field? That is helping you to be future-proof, that is forcing the other players in the same setting to be modular and open the competition, making sure that the signaling system for the future is not so expensive as it today.
Markus,
And
1 minute.
yes, these are the big possibilities. 2,000 million in Norway, 1.3 million euros project in Finland. I don't know the size of the Rail Baltic, but you of course hold the key in these big projects to open the market for local or regional system providers or software and hardware companies. And maybe then I just try to summarize here that if you don't try to create the future you want, you must endure the future you get. And one aspect here is that if we want to create Nordic railway companies, we need to make good cooperation, accept maybe some risk, but then also be ready to get some awards out from that. Thank you.
Thank you, Markus. And that was a great gateway towards to Ann-Kristin Bjerknes to talk about the test arena that is actually doing good cooperation between several companies and entities. Ann-Kristin, without much ado, I give the word to you. So please present your presentation, and we can hear about the. See, just 1 second. See the slide? There you go. Now we can see.
Now you can see the presentation?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. My name is Ann-Kristin Bjerknes. I'm from Jernbanedirektoratet. I'm really excited to introduce the Arctic Test Arena, a joint initiative by Norway and Sweden to create a full-scale international test environment for railway technology in Arctic conditions. Ofotbanen and Malmbanen are much more than just transport routes. They ensure the flow of critical raw materials. In today's changing geopolitical landscape, they're increasingly seen as strategic infrastructure. And they offer climate-friendly alternative to road transport. 1 year on these lines could equal 10 years on testing on southern Europe. These lines handle some of the heaviest trains in Europe with extreme cold, snow and ice. The landscape is challenging and the operations are complex. And finally, it's international. It's cross-border transport. Sweden and Norway have tested railway technology here for many decades. Now we're taking the next step together. Over the past year, the Norwegian railway directors have worked closely with Bane Nor, the Arctic University of Norway, SINTEF, Luleå Railway Research Center, Luleå University of Technology, and Trafikverket to establish the Arctic Test Arena. This is a strong Nordic team, and now we're opening the doors to others. Our ambition is to develop Ofotbanen and Malmbanen into an international Arctic test arena for railway technology. This is a place where new solutions are tested under the toughest conditions. That's why we're building this test arena under a simple motto. If it works here, it works everywhere. So what are we aiming for? First, it's about improving operational reliability. Second, climate resilience. We want to promote innovation and enable testing. We are focusing on testing infrastructure and rolling stock, developing solutions for cold climate and heavy freight, research on maintenance and operational reliability, data sharing and digital collaboration, skills developing through education and events, and promoting the test arena internationally. Test activities. From advanced sensor to eye-driven monitoring, we're testing technology that enhance reliability and resilience. We monitor bridges using both sensors and satellite data to detect movement, landslides, and even rail breaks. On the ground, we measure forces, track geometry and wear, and test how infrastructure perform under 32.5 ton axle load. This gives us data to improve railway system far beyond the Arctic. We want to build a flexible and inclusive partnership model that makes it easy to collaborate across countries. A joint steering group will ensure strategic anchoring, while a working group already up and running leads development and coordination of activities. We already have an MOU in place, and from 2026, we aim to bring more associated and strategic partners to take the test arena to the next level. These are some of the key people driving the initiative from academia, industry, and the public sector. And this is how we marketing.
Welcome to the Arctic Test Arena, where railway technology meets its ultimate challenge. From the ice-free port of Narvik to the industrial hub of Luleå, Ofotbanen and Malbanen span 473 kilometers of rugged Arctic terrain, connecting the Norwegian Sea to the Gulf of Bothnia. Here, amidst fjords and mountains, we're shaping the future of rail. Blizzards, sub-zero temperatures, steep gradients, and Europe's heaviest trains. This corridor pushes infrastructure and railing stock to their limits. 1 year of operation here can equate to a decade of wear elsewhere. If it works here, it works anywhere. For decades, Norway and Sweden have utilized this corridor to test and refine railway technologies. Now, we're inviting the world to join us, transforming Ofotbanen and Malbanen into an international test arena for Arctic railway innovation. Public and private sectors from Norway and Sweden are uniting to drive sustainable digital railway solutions. Together with global experts, we're pioneering advancements in infrastructure resilience, digitalization, and climate adoption along this unique corridor. From advanced sensors to AI-driven monitoring and predictive maintenance, we test technologies that enhance reliability and resilience. We monitor bridges with sensors and satellites to detect ground movement, landslides, and rail breaks. We measure track geometry, forces, and wear, and test how rails, sleepers, and fasteners perform under 32.5-ton axle loads. Ofotbanen and Malbanen, where railway technology is tested against the Arctic's toughest conditions. If it works here, it works anywhere.
So what's next? A lot is already happening in Ofotbanen and Malbanen, but we are just getting started. We have an official launch on the 4th and the 5th November. From 2026, more partners will gain access to the test facilities, and we expect broader use and development on technology and solutions within 3 to 5 years. This is a long-term effort, but the momentum is real and the work is already delivering results. We are really excited to invite you to the official launch in Arctic of the Arctic Test Arena taking place in Narvik on 4th or 5th November. The program includes a unique train journey along Ofotbanen and Malmbanen with live demonstration and expert insight at selected stops. The 5th of November, it will be a seminar and lab visit at the UIT, including lessons learned from the 2023 derailment. And we also want to see ongoing and future test activities and collaboration model. This will be a great opportunity to connect with partners, explore collaboration, and experience Arctic rail innovation in action. So let me wrap this up with a reminder what this is all about. Ofotbanen and Malmbanen are now becoming an international Arctic test arena for railway technology. We're doing it together across borders with private and public actors. And we believe in one simple truth. If it works here, it works anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ann-Kristin. I guess I know where I will be on the 4th and 5th of November if I'm allowed to join you. That actually culminates very well this kind of this presentation, because you are truly inviting the whole network that is attending here to join forces and collaborate. And this is exactly what we're looking for. And it also goes into Marcus's messages and how to join forces. So excellent ending. And I don't know how many here are eager or wanting to go to Narvik on the 4th. So please raise your hand so we can see the interest. Come on. I thought several. Yes. Very good. Many people are raising their hands. This was very good. We have time for any final questions. We have like 3 minutes of this presentation, of this webinar. I know there was a lot of material in a short time, and I thank also the presentators and for doing their part in short and good time. But we managed to put a lot of interesting information into this program. Any final words or questions for anyone? This is now your chance. I know at least ITS Finland CEO Markus is sitting in a train, so that's good news. But if there's anyone wanting to say something, unless you're not wanting to say something, we will share, as said, the video of this and the PDFs. And maybe, Ann-Kristin, you can also share the link for the invitation in the chat.
I will.
Thank you so much. Well, on behalf of Nordic Plus, I remind you that if you are or wanting to have more webinars or wanting us to help you for network, for contacts, for any other activities, please don't hesitate to reach out to us in ITS Finland, ITS Sweden, ITS Norway, ITS Denmark, ITS Estonia, Latvia, and Iceland. Not maybe so much Iceland for rail, but anyway for transport and mobility. We are here for you to help you out. And maybe, as I managed to see that last comment from Markus Forsblom and ITS Finland, we can plan something together in InnoTrans in September. I think it was 22nd next year. We'll be delighted from Nordic Plus to join forces there with you all. On that note, I thank you so much for your time and wish you a great afternoon. Thank you and bye-bye.